In the family of Bavarian crossovers, the X1 is considered the youngest, the smallest and most affordable. We check if he is able to withstand the blow of time, like his older comrades. Alas, this is already the norm, when the Germans, getting off the guarantee, become carriers of serious problems. It is not easy to find a cheerful and inexpensive X1 of the first generation on the secondary market. You will have to inspect a dozen cars, if we are talking about a copy with a 100,000th run. And every time the picture will be similar: knocks in the steering or suspension, cracked leatherette or fabric seats with stains, oil leaks on the engine and on the turbine, crickets in the cabin and a history of body repairs. The crossover is not designed for extreme loads, and many of its owners forget about this. Therefore, we recommend looking for a rear-wheel drive version. The front axle gearbox is often, sometimes unknowingly, operated without oil. And these are future costs. In addition, the cross and rear-wheel drive is able to deliver driving pleasure. Unless, of course, you do not mind too stiff suspension. In Ukraine, cars of German assembly were sold. Any of the engines will please with dynamics and efficiency, but not all of them are equally useful in the secondary market. For example, a typical disease of the younger gasoline 4, the N46, 18i, unit, is an oil burner. Lubrication goes into the exhaust through the valve stem seals, or the Vanos solenoid valve snot. If you smell burnt oil, look for a new vacuum pump. Grease on the exhaust manifold is a source of fire. A diesel engine with 1 or 2 turbines requires less attention, but these requirements are more expensive. We are afraid of expensive repair of fuel equipment. The cost of the nozzle is 10 to 12,000 €, and replacement of the entire timing drive group. Chains, there are 3 of them, are already stretched on runs of 100,000 kilometers or less. You will need spare parts for everything about everything for 15,000 Ukrainian hryvnia, but you will have to remove the box. Otherwise you can't get there. With the gasoline Turbo 4 of the N20 series, it appeared after the restyling of 2011. With responsible operation, there may not be serious problems until a run of 200,000 km. But oil leaks through the plastic oil filter housing cannot be avoided. The illness is typical. If you do not notice it for a long time, there is a high risk of running into a turbine replacement or at least paying for an extraordinary cleaning of the nozzles. Inline sixes will also have their own sores, so it is rather difficult to recommend any particular unit. When buying any, you need to look at the state. Transmissions are a little easier. Before restyling, mechanics and a 6-speed torque converter automatic of the GM series were used. Reliable, but requiring an oil change every 60,000 km. After restyling, an 8-speed hybrid, semi-robot, ZF box with mechatronics appeared. The latter requires cleaning and rarely walks without problems until the age of 150,000 km. At the turn of 50 to 60,000 km, if the car has not been subjected to special violence, one after another there are questions with steering and suspension. If the drive is rear, the front levers are aluminum, which means accelerated wear. Once every 50,000 km, the bushings glued to the stabilizer will also give heat when replacing. And some manage to eliminate corrosion and leakage of the steering rack after every 30,000 km. In a word, there are enough problems for iron, but there are practically no body problems. Even the finishing chrome of some manages to stay on the details for up to 5 years. The headlights, however, are not airtight, they sweat. And in the rear lights, water can accumulate at all. The salon causes enthusiasm, perhaps only by its appearance. But do not look for premium quality materials here. And crickets, and scratches, and unstable fabric, and leather, upholstery, everything is there. But what is almost absent is complaints about the electrician. With the exception of Parktronics that are plugged up from dampness, there is practically nothing to complain about. In a word, if you manage to find a car with a completely healthy engine, you can safely take it. Train. With the mechanics usually nothing critical happens. And for the most reliable 6-speed transmission of the GM series, with runs over 150,000 km, sometimes the replacement of linear solenoids is necessary. Repair of this automatic transmission, as a rule, is required on a run of 200 to 250,000 km. However, mechanics do not recommend turning on Schumacher. A sporty driving style will kill the box twice as fast. Diseases of motors can be described for a long time. But which motor to choose? Mechanics believe that the least evil can be expected from the inline 6 with a GM automatic. However, a diesel engine with a fresh timing drive and injectors is able to compete with it. The N52 series gasoline engine is also praised, but this is rare. With low mileage, you can safely take the N20 turbo engine with an 8-speed automatic. Quite fit. The first, at 50,000 km, are the front ball bearings and the hydraulic support of the lower front arm. Moreover, the latter can be difficult to catch by the hand, as well as steering vibration. Other people's sins are often attributed to tires, but stronger in the back. The main thing is to follow the silent blocks of the subframe on powerful versions. And the first to fail are the outer hinges of the carrier arm. Everything is fine with the body, but tapping and creaking in the cabin is a common thing. Alas, there are defects, which can be difficult to catch, and in search of a cricket you have to open the entire interior. These elusive ones include rattling door lock rods, a loosened power window motor, a creaking door lock, door stops or rear wiper mounts. Everything is quiet until the upgrade touches the car. Interference causes problems in unpredictable places. Avoid chip tuning versions, motor resource is reduced. The main problem is parking sensors, which burn 3 times more often than other sensors. In a word, when buying a car, you need to check the work of each stopper. This may not be a cheap problem,